I always felt like an outsider as I grew up. Ever since I was a kid, ever since I started going to school, I always felt like I wasn't belonging in the community. I always felt I was different. I always felt that I couldn't make friends that easily. Um, and I was trying a lot of methods as a kid, even to try to talk to people, to try to fit in the groups, to have a lot of friends. But I've never really felt like that was me. And I never felt that those people were for me, you know? I always felt like isolated from everybody. I had a friend or two that were my close friends, but overall, I still felt lonely and I still felt like I couldn't talk to anybody. And I don't even have siblings. So I definitely felt isolated at home. Especially my family. They're super small family. So it was only consist of my mom. And that's it. I mean, that's how my life was. And as I was growing up, I kind of started to learn how to be alone. I started to feel loneliness as a good thing. I started not to see that as a bad thing, but as a good thing, because I've learned how to use loneliness to my advantage, especially at my age right now in 20. I've learned how to implement loneliness as a tool instead of having big communities or people that don't, correlate with my life and my goals. And I want to go back a little bit after I moved to America because I'm originally not from America. This is probably the first time you're hearing this if you're new on the YouTube channel. But I actually immigrated from Europe. I don't want to say what country I'm from, but I immigrated back in like 2017. And it was very challenging coming to a country where you don't even speak the language, which is English. And it was a very good, interesting journey for me, I'd say. But I feel like some people could relate to my journey because when I first got here, I didn't know a single word in English. Maybe hello, my name is Gleb. And yeah, even though I say my real name, a lot of people are going to be looking at me like I'm some sort of alien because they never heard that name before, which I don't blame them. I've never heard American names until I came to America and I started making friends, and I still felt that loneliness. Even though I was in a new environment with new people and a new culture and a new language, I realized I was still different compared to anybody on earth. I felt isolated with the things I loved, with the things I wanted to do, with how I was interacting with things. A lot of the times, for example, in the classrooms, when the teacher asks you to do a group work or a class work or go help a friend or go do a group work with a friend, at the beginning, I had no friends. Even though I wanted to make friends, I didn't know how to make friends. I still felt lonely. I still felt like people didn't really care who I was, or I felt different from everybody else. Everybody connects so fast. Everybody connects so easily. I couldn't do that. I always struggled with that. I remember I was sent to summer camps to learn English to get friends, but it never really worked for me. I always felt, again, lonely. I felt like I wanted to do one thing while everybody else wanted to go to the beach, on the water park. And I was just, I guess, scared. Maybe just, I don't want to be with those people because I wanted to do something else, something alone. Because I got so used to being alone as a kid that it just transformed into my adulthood even now. And in high school, I just didn't want to be with anybody. I didn't want to go to no parties. I didn't want to go to no events. A car ride with a friend in high school. That was not me. I wanted to stay home, get on a game or watch a movie or listen to my music or go on a bike ride alone. Or do completely anything but sit at my house all day and just be by myself, because I felt most at peace when being at home by myself. And maybe people can relate to me as feeling isolated, and a lot of people might, you guys might relate to feeling that peace when you're alone. A lot of people who are very extroverted, a lot of people who are extroverted, they want to be in communities. They want to be with people at the events. And us introverts, we just want to be alone at home. And that's where we feel most at peace. That's where I felt most at peace, at being at home instead of being outside with somebody, because that was not who I wanted to be. And the point that I want to bring is why I started trading and why I started content creation. Maybe you're wondering that isolation is bad and you see yourself different from everybody else, and everybody tells you to go find a community, go talk to people, network with people, because you're not going to get anywhere in life if you don't talk to people, if you don't reach out to people, if you don't make connections. And to an extent, it's true. You probably should network with people, but what a lot of people who are extroverts, they don't realize that when we're alone, we feel peace and we feel the most productive to do things when we're alone. We've got used to being alone because that's our comfort zone. And even a lot of successful people are going to tell you to network. And even as an adulthood now, I do talk more to people, and I'm not scared of anymore of performing in front of people. And by performing, I mean talking in front of an audience. Because as a kid growing up, I was also scared to present a project, to present a poem or a song that we were supposed to learn in school in front of a class. And whenever it was my turn, my heart always started beating so fast. My heart started beating like... I started sweating. I started murmuring words that weren't even part of the song or part of the project. And I started looking at everybody, and I see faces, and I just started to get all sweaty and scared and anxious. And I just don't want to be there anymore. And the teachers tell you, it's fine, take your time. It's fine. No, it's not fine. For me, I realized it's not fine for me to be pressured to be somewhere I don't want to be, because that's not where my most productive self is. And as I grew up, I started making content creation, and I started doing trading. I started doing things that are not relatable to an average person who wants to be in a community. I started to do things alone that will eventually make me money, will eventually make me successful, but they require alone time. They don't require somebody's help. I'm not saying to dispute help, to not ask for help, to not seek for a partner for a thing or a project you want to do. What I'm saying is being alone for people who were meant to be alone in the lonely environments. That's where you're supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to seek out. You're not supposed to seek out an extrovert mindset. Being everywhere, networking, finding people. No. You're supposed to kind of sit in this bubble and work. And that's where you will see the success. That's where you will see the performance of your true self. That is my point I'm trying to bring. That it's okay to be alone, because alone brings you peace. I'm not saying to not go find a partner, to not go find love, to not go find friends, to not go out with friends, have fun, and miss out on these things that people tell you. What I want to say is, do what's right for you. And if you feel more at peace being alone and doing things you love alone, do them alone. Don't let nobody get into your head, get into your life, and tell you that you're not supposed to be this person, because this is not what the world accepts. Because the world accepts the opposite. A lot of the time, the opposite of what you want to be. And I don't really trust the world anymore. especially with all the lies and the things that are going on in the world right now. Trusting in the world, trusting in the public is probably the worst decision you can do in your life right now. Another point I want to bring is why I started trading and why trading for me feels like an escape. I'm gonna say of the Matrix. But trading is very relatable to me and my childhood self. With trading, a lot of people are gonna call it gambling, and I probably want to make another video for that. But trading is a business, it's a job. First off, there's Wall Street and there's hedge funds, and those are actual people with actual jobs that do the exact same thing with higher, and more expensive tools and toys that help them make those algorithm decisions to make a lot of money. That's not my point in this video. What I'm trying to say, it's a real job. However, trading is a solo job. You can make it work with a friend, but when it comes down to execution, when it comes down to setting standards, to setting a stop loss, to setting when you want to start in a trade, what you want to see in a trade, and what stocks or future markets you want to trade, how much you want to put in the trade. It all comes down to you and only you. This game is a one-on-one person, you versus your mind. There is no competition in trading because you're not competing with another person, but you're competing with your head and your decisions. Trading is a very mentally hard game that a lot of people can't win. And I'm probably in the middle process right now. Since I've already went 2 years into trading, I'm going to be honest, I am not profitable to make money and live off trading. I don't think anybody is profitable enough to live off trading. But I am confident in making more determined decisions that are very logical, that are very safe for my account, for my mind, and for me to continue doing the thing I love, which is trading. Over the course of 2 years, I've learned a lot of stuff about myself, a lot of stuff about the markets, and a lot of stuff about the world, and even the concept of money. Because in trading, you can make so much fucking money. So much money. You can make a ton of shit money in an hour, in 10 minutes. While we work jobs, 9 to 5s, you can make that in 1 hour, in 10 minutes in a trade. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And before anybody keeps saying that it's not possible, that it didn't work for me, you didn't stick long enough with it to make it happen. You didn't push all the way in. If you just tried it for a couple months and you said that's not for me, fine. But don't say it didn't work because you tried it. It didn't work because you didn't keep going. It didn't work because you didn't kept trying. You didn't kept thinking that you are the winner, you are already profitable, that you are going to make a lot of money. You didn't think like that. You thought, let me just try this thing. Of course it didn't work. It's like going to the gym. You're going to go to the gym for a whole week and you're going to see no results. And you're going to quit. You're going to say, gym is not for me. It's too hard. I don't see any results. Of course you don't see any results. You didn't keep doing it. Or let's say landing an internship or landing an interview job at a 9 to 5. Let's, for example, say a tech job. You didn't practice. You didn't keep coding. You didn't try doing mock interviews. You didn't try to research the company even. You just went into the interview thinking you know everything, and you failed 2-3 interviews and you're done. You'd say, this is not for me. This major is not for me. This career path is not for me. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. Consistency is the only thing that will get you there. But what will get you there is the isolation game. So if you do feel isolated, if you do feel when that you're alone, but you're performing well, stay alone. If you're performing well with other people, be with other people. I'm just trying to say from my personal story that trading showed me and connected to me as a kid that this career path is for me. Because I'm not the type of person to go out, talk to people, network with people, go to clubs, go to meetings, go to conferences to make life happen. No. I feel like trading and even content creation, I'm talking to a camera. I'm not talking to people. I want to talk to people, but at the end of the day, I'm just talking to a camera. And I'm delusional, thinking people are going to see me. People are going to watch all the video all the way through. I'm delusional about that. And that's fine. I want to be delusional about the things I love. I want to be delusional about content. I want to be delusional about trading. I want to be delusional that I'm already there. I already reached the point in my life where I'm already successful. I'm not going to think myself low anymore. See, this isolation game made me think that I'm the winner already, that I already made it happen. Nobody is pushing me down. Nobody's competing with me because it's only me versus me. The only thing I have to do today is be better than I was yesterday. That is the only thing that I can do to make myself better. I have to be better today than I was yesterday. There is no competition with me. That is why the isolation game works. That is why being isolated works. It is not a trap. It is not a loophole that you're stuck in. It is an environment that for certain people like me and maybe you works. I want to end this video off with telling you that it's possible, that you should not give up on anything you want to do in this life. You should not give up on your dreams. Because if you want it bad enough, you're already a winner. You're already a creator. If you have an idea in your mind, you're already an inventor, an engineer. Keep saying that to yourself that you already made it. You're already there. You already made the finish line. Keep saying that every single day. And your life will change. Your life will change. You may not notice it in the moment, but in 10 days, in a week, your life is already better than it was before. Remember that life is very short. And as I grew up, I realized that it's very fast. Years are going like with the blink of an eye. It's very scary. But if you really know what you want to do in life, if you really are prepared to push through the obstacles, life is going to feel amazing. Even though it's fast, even though it goes very fast, everybody ages around you, people leave your life, people stop talking to you, your career path fails or goes a different direction. If you enjoy what you're doing, and if your mind is comprehending with your physical life, and if you know how to work with yourself one-on-one, your life will be amazing. You will have the best life in this whole world. There is no competition. There is nobody competing next to you. It is only you versus you and nobody else.